Listen carefully because you only have 2 minutes and time is running out. This is for you. Last night you were chosen. Michael says this is not a game. You have been set apart for a higher level. I say this with all the authority of heaven. Stay alert because heaven has already intervened and given an order to be executed today. The angels have just mentioned your name. Listen with your spirit because you were chosen for something very big that has just been released. Stay here. Don't move. Don't ignore this message because what is coming will change your position right now. Don't leave. Stay and understand this. The exact moment you hear my voice was planned. It is not a coincidence. Stay with me because what I'm going to reveal is urgent and changes everything. The light brought you back. Listen carefully. This message is exclusively for those who walk the divine path with seriousness. Stay aligned with this purpose, and you will understand everything. Don't close the video, because if you are here, it is not a coincidence. This exact second was orchestrated and delivered with intention. There is a real danger that arises when you begin to surpass others. You surpass those around you spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. The truth is harsh. Most of the chosen ones are not prepared for what comes next. When you move up a level, when you rise and attain new authority, your environment changes completely. Don't stop. Listen carefully to this. Not everyone can handle your rise. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone will celebrate it. This message has the power to open your eyes. You will see what is happening around you and what is happening within you. You are experiencing internal and external changes. It is a complete spiritual recalibration. Stay here because the real reason is being revealed now. Even now, in this place, stay with me until the end. What I am about to reveal is your protection. These words will free you from unnecessary pain and deep confusion. I will deliver you from battles you should never have fought. If this resonates with your spirit and you feel the truth touches you, show your alignment right now, like this video. Help this message reach other chosen ones who urgently need it. Comment 777 below to declare that you are ready and open to receive this truth. The sky stood still for what has already happened, and you don't even know it yet. Chosen one, breathe slowly now. Stop what you're doing and listen with your spirit. Don't just use your ears or your mind. Use the deepest part of your being. I'm going to explain the exact reason why your life feels different, even if you can't find a logical explanation. It's the reason why everything changed inside you, even when everything seemed the same on the outside. There's a reason why you started feeling something you can't ignore. Don't skip the video, because everything becomes clear here. Something profound was happening, even if you couldn't name it or understand it. Listen carefully. Long before anything changes on earth, the heavens have already moved. The divine doesn't wait for human consciousness. The divine doesn't ask permission, doesn't seek approval, and doesn't announce its plans. The divine acts first and reveals itself later. In your case, chosen one, something already happened while you weren't looking, while you were wasting time questioning yourself, wondering if you were making progress, or doubting your path. Something occurred in the realm of the spirit. You weren't aware of it. There was an exact moment, a precise instant, when the heavens stood still for you. It wasn't because you made noise or sought attention. The sky stopped because you persevered. You kept going when things were unclear. You prayed even when you felt your prayers were lost. Don't move and don't skip the video, because what's coming is big and you need to understand it. Your prayers felt heavy. They were a burden. You felt like they weren't going anywhere, but you remained obedient. You stood firm when obedience seemed unrewarding, when it seemed wasteful and pointless. That's when the divine intervened. He did it silently, firmly, and permanently. Many chosen ones make the mistake of believing that spiritual advancements must be dramatic. They expect lightning flashes, audible voices, thunder, or instant relief. They seek visible signs and irrefutable proof. But the truth is different. Listen carefully. The deepest movements of the divine are silent. They are subtle. They are like verdicts issued in a higher court. They are decisions made in the celestial courts. They are pronouncements of authority that carry eternal, though not merely audible, weight. Do not ignore this message. because what was decided up there is already affecting your reality down here. There were no billboards on earth for everyone to see. Listen carefully. Chosen one. This wasn't emotional. It wasn't about your feelings. It wasn't dependent on how you felt that day. It was legally authorized. It was official. A verdict was passed on your life. It happened while you were still questioning yourself, while you were doubting and wondering if you were enough or if you were qualified for the calling. The decision was made while you were uncertain. You didn't feel the impact because heaven shielded you from its full weight. Had you known too soon what was being authorized and set in motion, fear would have entered your heart. Pride would have tried to take root. Doubt would have ruined the process. Therefore, the divine, in its wisdom and mercy, kept you unconscious while ensured and fixed the outcome of your destiny. Stay here. Don't close the video now. Every part matters, and there's a reason you're listening to this right now. While your assignment was being sealed, you were protected. That is mercy. That is wisdom beyond human understanding. There was a precise point on your path where your faith was measured. You were tested, weighed, and examined, but you were never told it was a test. You were never informed that you were being watched. The sky watched you in silence. They took note of your every move. They observed how you handled the delays when there were no answers. They watched how you faced the silence without receiving explanations. They saw how you endured the misunderstandings without trying to defend yourself and how you mastered emotional exhaustion without giving up. They watched you when no one applauded you. They examined you in the dark when no one saw your effort. Listen carefully and don't move. Your anonymous resistance is what enabled your current victory. Listen to this calmly. You went through times when you thought you had been forgotten, ignored, and completely abandoned. You are wrong. It was precisely during that difficult and lonely season that heaven responded with authority. Understand this. Chosen one. Heaven doesn't react to words. The divine doesn't care for eloquent speeches or impressive declarations. Heaven responds to alignment, to authenticity, and to who you truly are when no one is watching. The divine isn't moved by how much you talk about faith, but by how you act when having faith comes at a high price, when it requires sacrifice, and when it seems to give you nothing in return. You maintained your integrity when surrender would have been the easiest and most comfortable option. You held back. You exercised self-control when revenge was justified. When counterattack seemed the only logical response, you chose silence. You remain kind. Do not ignore what comes next, because your conduct in the heat of the moment is what moved the hand of God. You chose compassion when bitterness seemed the most logical course. You could have hardened your heart to protect yourself, but you didn't. Those private choices, those moments of integrity unseen by anyone, were not lost on heaven. Each one was recorded and honored. Listen carefully. You cross a spiritual checkpoint without ceremony or announcement. You cross a threshold, a line in the spirit for which there is no turning back. Once you cross that boundary, your mission can no longer be aborted by the enemy. It can no longer be delayed by circumstances. It can no longer be transferred to anyone else. Your destiny was locked away, sealed permanently. And when that happened, when you crossed that invisible line, the sky was silent. It stood still and reverent. What was confirmed about you carries eternal weight. It bears absolute responsibility. Stay with me until the very last second, because understanding this changes your place in this world forever. Your life started to feel strange. Not worse, just unfamiliar. Listen to this. What used to motivate you suddenly lost its power. The desires that once excited you no longer appeal to you. Those goals that seemed vital are now irrelevant. You began to feel disconnected and separate from what was once normal for you. It wasn't confusion, chosen one. You weren't lost. It was a transition. It was a real transformation. Your spirit was adjusting and realigning to a new spiritual jurisdiction. You are now operating at a higher level of authority. You thought nothing was wrong because, on the surface, everything seemed the same. The same environment, the same problems, the same challenges. But inside, everything had changed. Don't close the video now. What follows is the explanation of why the external world is about to collapse under your new reality. Allow this message to sink in. The questions remained unanswered. The situation seemed impossible. But deep down, something fundamental changed. Your tolerance for certain energies died. Things you once endured now became unbearable. Your patience with nonsense, drama, and manipulation ran out. Your appetite for superficiality vanished. Empty relationships and meaningless conversations no longer have a place in your life. These weren't mood swings or passing phases. They were divine signs. Heaven altered your spiritual DNA. Understand this. When the divine acts, the earth always lags behind. Physical manifestation is slower than spiritual authorization. This delay between what has already been decreed and what your eyes see is not a punishment. It's not that heaven is hiding something from you. It's not a test to frustrate you. Stay with me, because understanding this delay is what separates those who triumph from those who give up. Listen carefully and don't move. It's alignment. The divine allows time and orchestrates space so that structures can shift. People reposition themselves and circumstances rearrange themselves so as not to clash with what has already been approved for you. Everything moves so that nothing interferes with what's to come. That's why doors suddenly closed, without warning and without giving you a chance to fight for them. That's why certain people left your life without explanation, without a final conversation, leaving loose ends. It wasn't bad luck. It was a necessary cleansing. Plans that seemed secure and solid crumbled, so as not to block what has already been revealed in the spiritual realm. Listen to the end. Every apparent loss was actually a strategic removal. Nothing that belongs to you by divine decree can be taken away. Only what hindered your ascent was eliminated. Plans you took for granted crumbled at the last minute. Just when you thought they would materialize, everything fell apart. Understand this. The heavens were clearing interference. The heavens were removing obstacles and distractions. It wasn't because those things were bad or because those people were your enemies. They left because they were no longer compatible with your new spiritual location. They no longer fit with who you are now. You didn't fail when everything fell apart. You weren't rejected when those people left. It wasn't a punishment. You graduated. You leveled up. You were promoted by divine command. And listen carefully. Promotion in the spirit rarely feels like a party. It feels lonely. It feels heavy. It feels like utter isolation. You need to understand this. Elevation always comes with a radical separation. Don't leave now. What follows reveals your newfound authority. Greater awareness implies greater responsibility. Listen carefully. True spiritual awareness carries a weight that most people are unwilling to bear. The divine doesn't lift you up to make you comfortable. It doesn't lift you up to make your life easy or eliminate your struggles. Elevation isn't about comfort. It's about effectiveness. It's about impact. It's about positioning yourself where your purpose will have the greatest effect. There was a precise moment when the heavens confirmed it. You can be trusted. You were entrusted with silence. You were entrusted with not having answers. You were entrusted with endless waiting and not knowing what comes next. That trust is rare. That level of faith isn't common. Most people demand revelations before they're ready. Most demand answers before they're mature enough to handle them. But you're different. You accepted the process. Stay until the very last second. Don't skip ahead. Because now you're going to understand why your obedience in the darkness gave you control in the light. Obedience without explanation. That was your power. You said yes without knowing the details. You kept moving forward without seeing the big picture. That's why heaven responded with legal authorization over your life. Not because of your words, but because of your constant march through the darkness. If the light is breaking through confusion you've been feeling, act now. Subscribe to this channel. Don't miss the messages designed specifically for your current season. They are direct instructions for the path you're walking. Listen carefully. Even the archangels were silent before what was unleashed upon you, what was decreed, what order was issued concerning your existence. It was not a mere wish. It was an unshakable decree. Do not leave, for what comes next reveals the true weight of your newfound authority. Stay with me. It wasn't ordinary. It wasn't standard procedure. Listen carefully. When heaven issues a decree, there are levels of authority. Some tasks only require basic angelic assistance or common signs. But what was released upon you is different. What was authorized concerning your life and your future required something higher, something of immeasurable weight. A mandate so powerful and far-reaching was issued that even the archangels paused to witness it. We took note. We observed what was being published about your name. This isn't about inflating your ego. It's not about pride or self-importance. This is about stabilizing your confidence. It's about anchoring your faith and firmly establishing your security. Because when you truly understand the magnitude of what has been signed in your favor, the fear disappears. Don't move. Listen carefully to what follows, because this changes everything. Understand this. When you grasp the level of authority that has been exerted over you, you stop doubting. You stop questioning whether what you are experiencing is real. You will know without a doubt that what has been sealed over your life is irreversible. It cannot be stopped or canceled by any opposing force. The enemy knows perfectly well what has been unleashed upon you. Darkness is not blind. Evil is not ignorant. The spiritual realm is fully aware of your new rank. The demons perceive the shift in your frequency even before you understood it. That's why spiritual resistance increased. That's why the attacks became more frequent and strategic, just when nothing visible had changed in your environment. The war intensified precisely when you expected a breakthrough. Listen carefully and don't move. The enemy doesn't attack what is irrelevant. He attacks what has already been authorized from the throne. Stay with me until the end, because you're going to learn how to use that authority right now. Listen carefully. The enemy doesn't waste energy. They don't invest resources or launch high-level attacks against those who don't have a mission. If you weren't a threat, if you didn't have real authority, no one would bother you. Interference is a test of your importance. Opposition is evidence of your spiritual weight. When heaven authorizes something powerful and of eternal consequence for you, opposition arises to test your resolve. They want to see if you will stand firm or if you will back down when the pressure increases. But grasp this deeply in your spirit. The attacks you have faced are not meant to stop you. They will not destroy you. They will not derail your calling. They are designed to train you, to develop your inner strength. Every battle you have fought and every opposition you have endured is the training ground for your authority. Stay with me, because what is coming is great and nothing can stop it. Listen carefully to this. Each attack sharpened your discernment. It taught you to separate truth from deception. You learned to distinguish the divine voice from the whispers of the enemy. It was not in vain. Every delay that frustrated you and every closed door that disappointed you strengthened your patience. You developed resilience. Now you have the ability to trust when there is no trace, to believe when you see nothing, and to stand firm while everything around you trembles. Every wound, every betrayal, and every abandonment deepened your compassion. You now possess an empathy you could not have developed otherwise. You have a heart that can tend to broken because you know what it is to be broken. You are not the same person who entered that difficult season. You are not who you were when the trial began. You were transformed by fire and refined by pressure. You endured what would have destroyed anyone else. Stay here. Do not move, for the final revelation of your transformation is yet to come. You endured what destroyed many others who were less committed. You remained loyal when abandoning your post was the easiest thing to do. Leaving and resigning would have made sense to anyone. But you are not just anyone. That resilience and your refusal to give up qualified you for what's coming. They prepared you for the terrain you're about to enter. Listen with authority. What you've been authorized to do isn't just for your personal benefit. It's not just for your individual blessing. This is for the multitudes. This is for all those who will be impacted by your obedience. Your faithfulness will transform those around you. Your task carries weight, importance, and eternal consequence because it is connected to the destiny of others. There are people waiting for you to assume your position of leadership right now. Don't leave. Every part matters. Comment, "I am ready," if you accept this responsibility today. There are people waiting for you to take your place. They don't even know their advancement depends on your obedience, but it does. That's why doubt is a luxury you can no longer afford. Stop comparing yourself. Your path is specific, and your timing is intentional. What you call delay is preparation. What you feel as waiting is, in reality, positioning. You are in the exact space between authorization and manifestation. That space is sacred. It is guarded and protected by higher orders. When the heavens release something powerful, they're in no hurry. Sometimes protection comes disguised as delay. You wondered why everything slowed down when you felt most ready. It wasn't stagnation, it was concealment. The heavens hide what is precious until the environment is safe enough to receive it. Even the greatest missions spent years in the shadows before becoming public. Don't close the video now. What's coming is a final instruction for your manifestation. Concealment is necessary for important missions. Understand this. There are parts of you that remain hidden not out of unworthiness, but to avoid interference. Premature exposure is a risk that heaven will not take. Divine timing is superior to your personal desires. While you waited, heaven was at work. While you doubted, the divine secured your position. Everything was arranged behind the veil. There was a shift in your spiritual record of which you were unaware. Your senses sharpened. Your discernment is now a weapon. You've begun to notice patterns you previously ignored. Now you sense energies before situations erupt. You feel the warnings before danger arrives. This isn't a coincidence. It's a system upgrade. You've been updated to detect threats before they materialize. Listen carefully to what follows, because your newfound ability to see the unseen is what guarantees your mastery of the visible. Heaven doesn't release authority without first equipping the vessel. Understand this. You were being prepared while you believed you were merely surviving. Every closed door was a lesson in trust. Every delayed response taught you patience. Every painful separation gave you discernment. You're not the same person anymore. You think differently. You respond differently. You choose differently. Those around you have noticed, even if they can't explain exactly what changed. Some celebrated your rise. Others felt threatened by it. Many distanced themselves because they can no longer vibrate at your frequency. It wasn't rejection. It was a necessary separation by divine design. Your new authority requires a clean environment. Don't try to reclaim what heaven has taken away. Listen carefully. What comes next is a final activation of your mandate. Stay until the very last second. Not everyone has access to your next season. Some are only meant to accompany you on part of the journey. Their departure wasn't betrayal. It was culmination. Honor what was, but don't force what's already dead. Your responsibility now is stewardship, not nostalgia. Revelation increases your responsibility. Now that you understand what has already been done spiritually, how you move forward matters more than ever. This is not a time to rush, prove anything to anyone, or make public announcements. It is a time to manage what has been entrusted to you in confidence. Your first command is moderation. Resist the urge to speak prematurely. Not everyone has a capacity to understand what is happening within you. Many are only meant to see the fruit when it is ripe. Over-explaining invites interference. Silence protects what is still taking shape. Remain steadfast and do not reveal your strategy to the enemy. Silence is not born of fear. It is wisdom born of discernment. Your second responsibility is humility. Authority only grows in humble soil. The moment you allow the ego to rise, your clarity is clouded. Beware of spiritual pride disguised as confidence. Understand the difference. Trust rests. Pride compares. Trust listens. Pride speaks unnecessarily. Stay grounded. Everything you possess was entrusted to you. You didn't earn it on your own. Gratitude is what keeps the flow of supply open. Your third responsibility is discipline. Not a heavy burden, but consistency. Maintain your connection to divine even when you feel strong. Don't seek the scriptures merely for information, but for tactical instruction. Discipline is the language of those who know how to govern. Listen carefully. Don't get distracted now, because we are reaching the final activation point. Don't seek information, seek alignment. Your inner environment matters now more than ever. Choose routines that generate peace, not empty stimulation. The fourth responsibility is patience. You are in the exact space between confirmation and manifestation. Many ruin their own progress through haste. Understand this. Time is not delay, it is protection. trust in the divine rhythm. The fifth responsibility is compassion. As you level up, you'll see others trapped in the cycles you've already escaped. Don't judge them. Remember how much your own journey cost you. Led with firmness, but with kindness. Authority without compassion isn't leadership. It's control. Your calling is not to correct everyone. It is to maintain your own consistency. Learn to rest without guilt. The warrior who does not rest becomes useless on the battlefield. Stay with me for the conclusion of this mandate, because closure is what will seal your new reality. Rest is not laziness. In this season, rest is obedience. Excessive effort will cloud your discernment. The divine does not need you exhausted. It needs you clear-headed. True clarity is born of rest, not exhaustion. Pay attention to what drains you. Cut out heavy conversations, chaotic environments, and obligations that destroy your peace. You have the power to choose differently. Managing your life includes setting non-negotiable boundaries. You will receive subtle guidance, a gentle nudge, a necessary pause, a mental redirection. Honor those moments. Your obedience is now less dramatic, but far more precise. Blessings will come quietly, opportunities without fanfare, and favors without fanfare. Receive them with humility. You don't have to proclaim every victory to the world. And listen carefully. Stop dwelling on the past. Don't rehearse the pain you've already been healed of. Looking back only holds you back. Keep your eyes on the present, which is where your authority is exercised. Honor your growth by staying here in the present. Moving forward doesn't require perfection. It requires awareness. Monitor your inner state. If you lose your peace, stop. If clarity becomes clouded, connect with the higher realms. If confusion arises, wait. You don't have to figure everything out. Your only instruction is to stay aligned. If this message is bringing order to the chaos you've been feeling, take action. Like and share this video now. Your immediate action could be the rescue of someone on the verge of giving up under pressure. Help them return to the light and the necessary calm before everything unravels. Take a deep breath and relax your shoulders. What has been decided about you is final. You are no longer in uncertainty. You are in the sacred silence where heaven has already issued the decree and the earth is simply catching up with the speed of the divine command. Nothing you endured was in vain. Nothing you lost was a mistake. Nothing you carried was ignored. Every silent prayer, every reaction you held back, and every time you chose faith over frustration was recorded. And because it was seen, it has already been answered, not with noise or haste, but with divine precision. This calm you feel is not emptiness. It is a stillness that arises when futile effort ends and true alignment begins. Don't wait for anyone's permission. Walk with the confirmation you already have. What the heavens confirm, no force can reverse. Don't rush the process. Don't doubt what is already sealed. Let peace be your compass and humility your foundation. What is yours will come without struggle, without chaos, and without destroying you in the process. Remember this. The divine did not bring you this far to abandon you in silence. This space is for you to learn to trust without a trace of fear. You are preparing for what will soon become visible. When it happens, you will need this inner stability more than fleeting excitement. Your responsibility now is to maintain control of your spirit. Your responsibility is unwavering. Remain present, remain in prayer, and remain grounded. When what heaven has already approved begins to manifest before your eyes, you will need this foundation you have built in the darkness. This is not about emotion. It is about structure. Walk carefully. Remain faithful. Trust in what has already been decided. You are not behind. You have not been forgotten. You are at the exact point of your design. Everything is aligning right now in dimensions your eyes cannot yet perceive, but your spirit already recognizes. Soon you will understand everything. If this command resonated with your spirit, take action. Like this video, subscribe, and share it with other chosen ones. Write 777 in the comments as a declaration of authority, peace, and alignment with what has already been released over your life. Your season has changed. You are more prepared than you think. Walk with confidence, chosen one. The light has already been decreed.